My heart pounds as my phone dials Nikki's number. I glance at the time in the top right corner of the screen. If I remember correctly, the cleaner school day should have ended by now. If the boutique is going to survive even spirits of sabotage, I'm going to need all the help I can get. And with Gray acting so strange, I swallowed the rising lump in my throat as the call connects. Hey Hazel, what's up? Hearing Nikki's familiar voice through the phone helps calm me. Nikki, I say, trying to keep my voice steady. I need help. Evan's targeting my business. He wants to use it to launder money. He reviewed bombed raindrop, and I don't know if I can keep it afloat. I run my free hand across my forehead as the grim reality of the situation hits me once again. There's a pause as he considers my words. Truthfully, running a business is not my area of expertise, Nikki says, sounding apologetic. My chest falls. But Nikki continues, you were there for the gang when we needed Angel. I'll do everything I can help you with even now. I breathe out a sigh of relief. It feels so good to know I'm not on my own. I really appreciate the help, Nikki. I just don't know where to go from here. It's also overwhelming. No problem, Hazel. Give me a couple hours to get everyone over to Sammy's. We'll all put our heads together and we'll figure this out, okay? Nikki's voice is soft and reassuring. I'll meet you guys there. Thank you, Nikki. I pause, hoping my sincerity comes across through the phone. This means so much to me. Of course, anything for Angel. As we hang up the phone, I feel grateful to know I have good friends on my side. I don't know how I'd manage this situation without Sarah and Nikki. I arrive at the meeting place shortly before dinner time. As I walk in, Sarah waves me over to an open seat next to her at the large table filled with our old gang members. Nikki gives me a hopeful, reassuring smile as I sit down among everyone. So, Nikki says in a loud, clear voice so that everyone can hear. Even and the Riversiders have been targeting Hazel and trying to ruin her business. I think we can all agree that after the help Angel gave us during the fight at the nightclub last week, we can offer our support to her and her clothing boutique now. Ricky looks around at the gang, his words eliciting a few nods. What are we supposed to do? One gang member asks. Buy a bunch of new clothes? Considering what you have on now, that might not be a bad idea, Sarah teases, jumping into the conversation. Let's start by brainstorming ideas, and then go from there. If all of us ordered one or two outfits from Angel, would that be enough? Another gang member questions, looking over at me. Unfortunately, I don't think so, I say, shaking my head. Though it would certainly help sales in the short term, even severely damaged my boutique's reputation. If I can't think of a way to restore my credibility and regain my regular customers, the business will suffer long term. My brow creases with worry. Raindrop is everything I have. if I lose the business, my livelihood, my savings, and my apartment all go with it. If we have everyone here leave positive reviews for Raindrop and make a purchase, would that solve things? Nikki asked, looking at me from across the table with concern. Maybe, I say slowly, considering the idea. But it'd be nice to have another way to bring in new customers, one that didn't rely on a keyboard war with Riversiders. You need to do something flashy, something to get people's attention, Sarah exclaims, getting excited. How about a fashion show? We could show about getting the local newspaper to cover it. A fashion show? I repeat, trying to figure out the logistics of such an event. Where? I don't know. You could have it out on the streets in front of Raindrop event. We could all pitch in with the designing and modeling. Sarah looks thrilled, but I still feel apprehensive. What if even scoons come back and disturb the show? Sure, we could fight them off, but that might scare away potential customers. Hey, Nikki says, turning to the guy sitting next to him. Don't you know someone who works at the newspaper? Do you think they would write about something like this? I shift my gaze over to the male gang member, curious to hear his answer. After the last positive article about Raindrop was published, mentioning my contribution to the Clanner Theater production, I saw a huge increase in business. If I could have that happen again, then maybe... Their paper does have a small business spotlight section, but they get a ton of applicants. The gang member looks back at me, apologetic. Your fashion show would have to really stand out for them to feature you quickly. So, I try to swallow my initial disappointment, telling myself the newspaper isn't hopeless pursuit yet. We need a way to make the fashion show seem more important, more attention-grabbing. Any ideas? My cousin is having her quinceanera next week, someone says. Would that help? I've got a friend getting married soon who's looking for outfits for her wedding party, another gang member suggests. The wedding isn't for a few months though. There's a classmate I keep in touch with whose dad has ties to a pretty big charity, which I think is fashion related. Maybe they know something? A female gang member shrugs, seeming uncertain if it's worth mentioning. What's the charity called? I ask, curious. Workweek wear, if I remember correctly, the woman replies. I pull out my phone and search for the name, though the charity's main focus is receiving donations to give to people who need work-appropriate clothes. They also work with designers to custom make any outfits with special requirements. To my surprise, the charity's main website advertises a large exclusive fundraising event hosted by a luxury hotel in Clanner at the end of the month. Hey, do you think your friend would know if they have some space for any more designers at this upcoming event? I pass my phone over to the female gang member, who takes a minute to leer at my screen. I can ask? she says, returning my phone before pulling her own out of her purse and send off a text. It would be so cool if you could be a part of that. Sarah squeals before turning to face the male gang member with the newspaper connection. Is this charity event the kind of thing worth writing about? I can't make any guarantees before I've spoken to my friend, he replies, holding up his hands, but it does sound like something they might be interested in. This is so exciting. Sarah turns to me, beaming. What do you think, Hazel? Seem like the answer to your problems? It definitely does, but I don't want to get my hopes up just yet. A lot of things have to fall into place to make this a reality. It would be great if Workweekwear has a way for me to participate. I confess, it seems like the perfect opportunity for me to repair my reputation. And if I get to help people while saving my business, that's great bonus, I add. The female gang member puts down her phone and digs through her purse for a second time. In this instance, she leaves through a few business cards until she finds the one she's looking for and hands it to me. I peer down at the name printed in bold, dark lettering, Neil Forrester. He says you can give him a call. The gang member looks pointedly at the business card, then gives me a smile. I can't help but smile back, feeling my hopes soar. Go call him. Sarah grabs my shoulder, beaming at me in excitement. I immediately stand up, intending to make a call outside of the noisy restaurant. Good luck, Hazel, Nikki says, giving me a grin. I'll order something for you, Sarah calls out, waving as I exit the building. Outside of Sammy's burger joint, I take a few moments to calm my nerves. The future of my boutique could be dependent on this phone call. I shake my head, reminding myself I have a room full of people just a few feet away, ready to help me think of a backup plan if this Workweekwear thing doesn't pan out. It'll be okay. Even won't win. Certainly not without a hell of a fight from me. Taking a deep breath, I enter the phone from the business card and dial. A deep male voice picks up on the other end. Hello, this is Neil Forrester. Hi, Mr. Forrester. This is Hazel Hansen. I believe I'm a mutual former classmate of ours mentioned I'd be in touch. Was it too soon to call? I guess it's too late to think of that now. Yes, she did. Well, Miss Hansen, I was just on the phone with someone over at Workweekwear, though it's a bit last minute. They are willing to add another designer to their upcoming fundraiser. I nearly start cheering from the news, but managed to rein in my excitement. There's 2 requirements to enter. One is a donation of 50 office appropriate outfits, and the second is 5 uniquely designed sets of professional wear to be auctioned off during the event. Any money your designs earn from the bidding at the fundraiser will be split between you and Workweek Wear. Neil continues. You'd have 2 weeks to provide everything to them. 50 outfits and 5 designs in 2 weeks. I quickly divide the numbers down in my head. My heart sinks. That's way too much work for one person. That'd be too much for a small team of people. Is that going to be a problem? Neil asks, interrupting my train of thought. Not at all. I have the utmost confidence I can supply all that. I lie, not wanting to give up this opportunity so easily. This is definitely not the time to make a bad impression. I cannot afford to lose this chance, even if it means fudging the truth of my ability. I'm glad to hear it. You wouldn't be able to participate otherwise. I gulped nervously, realizing how close I could have come to missing out on something that could save my business. I understand. That won't be the case. Good. Send over some pictures of your designs as soon as you can so Workweek Wear can review them before officially accepting you as a contributing designer. I'll text you to the appropriate email. Okay, I'll do that within the next few hours. Thank you, Mr. Forrester. You're welcome, Hanson. Get in touch with my secretary and she'll get you the registration forms. The number is on my card. Enjoy the rest of your night. After saying goodbye, I lean against the nearest building wall and sigh. If I'm going to pull this off, I'm going to need a lot of help. Meeting up and talking over dinner is one thing, but how many of my former gang mates are going to want to dedicate their free time to fetching supplies and helping me sew? I guess there's only one way to find out. I rejoined the gang's table, now covered with everyone's food and drinks, taking my place next to Sarah and across from Nikki. How did it go? Sarah asks, her eyes alight. I can join. Oh my god, really? That's great news. Sarah interrupts, but I need to make over 55 outfits in 2 weeks. I massage my temples as I explain my mountain task. It's impossible for one person to do. Oh, Sarah's optimism temporarily wanes, but what if Jed and I pitch in? I don't know, Sarah. I think we need a lot more help than that. Well, I'm sure some of us have time to volunteer, right guys? Nikki chimes in loudly, getting everyone's attention. Hazel needs some help making outfits for a Workweek Wear fundraiser. Some of the gang members shift in their seats, clearly uncomfortable. I work 60-hour weeks lately, someone says. Between working full-time and having custody of my kids on the weekends, another gang member replies. Alright, Nikki says, putting his hands up. I know some of you are busy now, and I appreciate you taking the time to come tonight. Nikki pulls a notebook and pen out of his bag. I'm going to outline some time slots over the next 2 weeks, Nikki says, writing in one of the pages. If you can come to Raindrop and help out, sign your name in the schedule. Shortly, shortly afterwards, Nikki's notebook is passed around the table and soon makes its way over to me for review. Sarah stares at me as I study the sign-ups after thanking everyone for considering helping. So, she says, apprehension apparent in her voice. Do you think this'll be enough? It's hard to say. I consider the volume of volunteers carefully. It might be, but if anything with Even or Riversiders comes up to take care of, maybe you should get the old Takapo gang to help out, Nikki suggests, and we both turn to look at him in surprise. What? I'm sure they want the Riversiders taken down too. Even and his gang have been terrible to them as well. It's worth a shot, Sarah says with a shrug. Want to call Gray and ask him to gather up his gang? I struggled to think of a reply. I'm sure Gray would like to help, but I can't trust him to follow through these days. It feels like we've barely been in a room together for more than 5 minutes lately. Or I could ask Jed to do it, Sarah asks, looking a bit perplexed at my hesitation. No, it's fine. I'll call Gray. I push away my untouched food as I get up and head over to the restaurant exit. I can feel Sarah's questioning gaze on me as I go. Hey, Hazel. Gray's familiar voice fills my ear as the phone call connects. Hearing him makes my heart flutter, even when I'm trying my best to steel it against disappointment. It's good that you called. Gray continues, about our plans this weekend. It's okay if you're busy, I say softly. We can hang out another time, Gray. Don't worry about it. My grip around the phone tightens as I will myself to accept the situation. Thank you for understanding, Hazel. There's a lot I'm dealing right now, but I promise to tell you about it and spend time with you once this is settled. Gray's voice strained, possibly worried about how I'll react. Honestly, I'm going to be pretty busy myself, I say truthfully. With the sheer amount of work and short deadline for the charity fundraiser to juggle, I doubt I'll be able to find time for a date. Oh, Gray asks, his tongue lightening considerably. Does that mean business is back to normal? Are the reviews gone? Not quite, I say, frowning as I recall all those terrible ratings, but I found an opportunity that could turn things around. Hopefully, Even will finally give up if I can pull this off. Really? Gray's excitement heightens. That's great news, Hazel. Yeah, I say hesitantly, knowing I'm about to ask for a favor. There's actually something I need your help with. It shouldn't take up too much of your time, I say, shifting my weight back and forth as I wait for his response. What is it? Gray asks, his tone apprehensive. I hope whatever is keeping him busy can hold off for a night. I need to sew an insane amount of outfits in the next 2 weeks to be able to participate in a big charity fundraiser. The words rush out of me as I explain my situation. There's a few of my old gang members who are willing to help out, but I'm not sure it'll be enough. Do you think you could ask your Dakapo connections if they could assist us to help a rival gang leader and their members make a bunch of clothes? Grace sounds amused by my proposition. Right, I know it's a long shot, but the Riversiders are coming after both gangs' territories. Maybe if our two gangs had an opportunity to bond, we'd be more open to working together, I say, hoping he'll agree. I owe the Phantom and the Takapo gang a favor, I add, as Angel. Well, he says, his voice full of flirty undertones, I do like the idea of you owing me. I thought that might entice you. I smile as we exchange suggestive comments, thrilled to have a chance to feel like things are normal between us. You are absolutely right. I'll talk to Jed and see what we can put together. Gray pauses. Hey, all jokes aside, you know I'd be happy to do this for no other reason than you asking me to, Hazel. I don't need anything from you. His voice is soft, gentle. I want to help you. I care about you. Oh, Gray. A feeling of warmth spreads through my body. That means a lot to me. Thank you. I'm glad, Gray says, his tone suddenly turning matter-of-fact. I know this is bad timing, but I have to go. I'm kind of in the middle of something. Ah, okay. I try not to feel disappointed. Text me the time and the place if you and the couples can work something out. Will do. Just like that, he's gone again. Upon heading back inside, I make sure to sincerely thank everyone for their time tonight and for volunteering. We toast to Raindrop's future success, tapping our plastic cups together. I fill Sarah in on my conversation with Gray as we eat, and together we await the news as to whether the couples will meet up with me or not. Halfway through our meal, we have our answer. My phone notifies me of a text received by Gray, informing me that everyone is getting together at a bar later tonight. Okay guys, I say, standing up from my chair. It's about time I head over to meet the couples. Want me to come with you? Sarah asks, wiping her mouth with a paper napkin. I could go as well. Nikki looks over at me, awaiting confirmation. No, you all have done enough for me for one day. Stay and have fun with everyone. I give them a reassuring smile, letting them know I'll be fine. I'll be fine with just the volunteer sheet. Suit yourself, Sarah says, smiling back at me. Say hi to Jed for me. I fold the paper Nikki made for me and gather up my things, giving everyone a goodbye before I go. When I make it to the meetup location, I find Gray leaning against the side of the bar, waiting for me. Interesting place to meet, I say, eyeing the familiar bar where we fought alongside each other against the Riversiders just the other week. Gray just shrugs, lifting himself off the wall to walk over to me. I've been trying to make amends with the owner after what even Andy Riversiders did. One corner of his mouth lifts into a smirk. It's a pretty cool place. I'm thinking about claiming it as Takapo territory. Maybe the Takapo and the Academy gang can share, I say nonchalantly. Share? Gray asks, raising an eyebrow. That's not something I'm into. Well, maybe you could learn to like it, I say with a shrug of my shoulders. Gray moves closer to me, not stopping until I can practically feel the warmth of his breath. I know what I like. He reaches towards me, his long fingers stroking the side of my cheek. Though I'd be happy to introduce you to some whole new sensations. I blush, recalling the things he's done to me in the past. I can only imagine what he could have in store for me when we're finally able to spend some quality alone time together. The sound of Wasted's front door opening interrupts our conversation. Jet peers out of the bar, waving Gray and I over when he sees us. Oh good, Hazel is here. Everyone else is already inside. He turns to head back inside, not waiting for us to follow. I guess he doesn't want to intrude on us more than he has to. After you, Grace says as he steps over to the door and pulls it open for me. Walking into an Academy gang bar filled with takapos is surreal, to say the least. It's a small comfort that most of them don't seem hostile towards me, a welcome change from being around Riversiders. So the Riversiders have been giving the Academy gang as much trouble as they have us lately, Gray exclaims, walking over to the bar where we're all gathered. I notice the usual bartender is gone, with a nervous-looking temp manning the counter in his stead. Even and his gang have been terrorizing Angel's clothing business, and she'd ask for our help in making things right. Some of the couples seem to bristle at the idea of helping a rival gang leader. Why would we do that? Is Angel the reason you were kicked out of high school? One member asks. Didn't the Academy gang plant that knife on you so you'd get arrested, Gray? Another chimes in, glaring at me. My eyebrows lift in surprise, though I manage to keep my mouth shut. So the knife that Gray carried that night really wasn't his. I know I didn't plant anything on him, and I sincerely hope no one in the Academy gang would do such a thing, but can I be sure of that? I don't care about the past now, Gray commands the room as he speaks, which is impressive considering the volume of the music. I think we can all agree that brokering a peace with the Academy and fighting Riverside together is preferable to how things are now. This is how we fight back. This is how we regain our power. The Academy has promised to have our back if we have theirs now, and I say we take them up on that offer. By the time Gray finishes speaking, most of his gangs nod along with his words. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, Jed offers, sharing a quote in support of Gray's motion. If we can stop our friends and family from being terrorized by Riversiders, I say it's worth working with the Academy, he finishes. Seeing the most of the couple gang is favorable to my cause, I retrieve the folded sign-up sheet along with a pen and start passing them around. I'm looking for some volunteers to help me prepare for a charity event to repair my business's reputation, I say, feeling embolstered when I see someone write down their name. Even done some severe damage, but if this goes well, I can rebuild. Do we have to know how to sue? A doppelganger asks, eliciting some laughs. I'll teach you, Jed replies, crossing his arms as he stretches to his full height. Though his comment earns him some strange looks, no one dares to give him any grip. There'll be something for everyone to do, I respond, smiling, whether that's sewing, gathering supplies, or transporting materials, anything helps. The volunteer list is returned to me within a few minutes, and as I look it over, I feel a swell of hope course through me. This looks great, guys. Thank you for signing up. If it's what the Phantom thinks it's best, I'm happy to help, one man says with a shrug, nonchalant. Gray takes a step towards him, clapping a hand across the man's back in a friendly gesture. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Gray looks around at his fellow gang mates. That goes for all of you. Well, I say, taking a step back, I'll bid you all good night. I have a lot to do at Raindrop tomorrow. I'll see some you there. Good night, Hazel. Gray's eyes meet mine, and I instantly wish I wasn't going home alone. As if he could read my mind, he comes over to me and pulls me in for a long, slow kiss. It doesn't take our current crowd long to start cheering and clearing their throats loudly. The two of us part much sooner than I would like, and I take my leave from the group. The next couple of weeks are going to keep me busier than ever before. Hopefully by the time of the fundraiser, Gray will have sorted out whatever it is he's dealing with, and the two of us can reunite. In the meantime, I have a business to save.